25 is here. The rematch that everyone wanted to see. Diego Lopez rematching Alexander Volkanovski, the featherweight GOAT. Yeah, that was all a lie. This is a disgrace of a fight. It's a great fight, but not the fight that the UFC should have made. But I'm going to be giving you my 325 full card predictions and betting breakdowns. So let's get into this. Let's highlight some fights on the prelims. We've got a bunch of nobodies. Let's go to the prelims. We got Torres Finney, Contender Series GOAT. We've got Junior Tafa, and the rest are nobodies. So now let's go into the main card. This is all the predictions I'm going to give you today. Not super impressed with this card by any means, but we'll start with Quillen Salkeld and Jamie Mulakari. I think I've actually watched him fight once. I noticed the eyebrows, but I'm taking Salkeld in this one. Obviously, I think he's a minus 1,000 favorite to win this fight. And I know that Mauricio Rufy has also fought Jaime, whatever you want to call him. I'm taking Salkeld by knockout. I've seen enough of this kid, and I think he gets it done easily with that head kick knockout last fight. I think he's too much for him. Not very in-depth breakdown so far, but we're gonna get into a real breakdown here between Tai Tuivasa and Taliesin Teixeira. This is an interesting one. I'm going to take Tai Tuivasa in this one. I think, obviously, he's on that Tony Ferguson run. I think he's lost 5 in a row. Let me actually just pull up, while I'm talking, his last fights, because this is against great competition. He's lost 5 in a row. Cyril Gane, quality loss. Sergey Pavlovich, quality loss. Volkov, quality loss. Tybura, not the best loss, and then he goes to a split decision in 2024 with Rosenstrike, who's not in the UFC anymore. And if you remember that was probably the worst judging performance of all time. One judge had Tai Tuivasa 30-27. I thought Rosenstrike 30-27 him. But yeah, I think I'm also just kidding on that one. I'm going to take Teixeira here. He's at minus 340. I just think he's going to be too much for him. Teixeira also didn't look great in his last fight. He fought Derek Lewis, got knocked out, but I thought that was an early stoppage. He was not looking great in that fight either. But I think Teixeira gets it done, probably by decision. I think the fans are going to have some great love for Tuivasa. We're all going to be hoping for that shoey. I just sadly don't think it happens, and by this point, I think the UFC might cut him. I would hope. I think Teixeira gets in the win column. Teixeira hasn't fought or beat anyone good either so far yet, so this will be a good name for him to get on his resume. So we'll move on to Rafael Fiziev and Mauricio Rufy. Very, very interesting fight here. When I'm thinking about this, I keep going both ways with this fight. I think, obviously Rufy's weakness is the wrestling. So I think if Fiziev can take him down, that'll be his path to victory. Also, I think these guys are pretty evenly matched in the striking. I think Rufy is slightly better in the striking department than Fiziev. But I think Fiziev has a great shot to win this fight. If you're betting on this fight, I don't hate the Fiziev play, but I'm going to take Rufy in this one for my prediction. I think he just outclasses him on the feet. I think he takes him decision and wins. This is also a big win for Rufy, a guy who just lost to Justin Gaethje, guy who's been in there with some good fighters. So I'm taking Rufy in this one. Let's move to the co-main event. This fight is also a very interesting one. I predicted BSD to beat Rufy in his last fight. I wasn't making videos at that time, but my boy can assure you that I picked him. I think he was plus against Rufy, and I think it's the same game plan against Hooker. I think he takes him down, and I think he can submit Dan Hooker. But Dan Hooker, if you remember, he looked good against Gamrot. I think he was stuffing a lot of takedowns in that fight. I thought he won that fight by robbery. That was actually the same fight as Rosenstrike and Tai Tuivasa-Blobsta. But yeah, I think BSD gets this done. I think he's a heavy favorite. We'll look at the odds here after this, after my predictions. But yeah, I mean, you got a great fight here. I think Paddy Pimblett probably fights the winner of this fight. And if you know the beef between Paddy Pimblett and Dan Hooker, you're probably cheering for Dan Hooker. I think that fight's awesome. But if you look at Dan Hooker, what has he really done in this sport other than have some amazing wars? He's one of my favorite fighters to watch. This will be a great fight, I think. But in terms of beating good competition, he really hasn't done that. And I think BSD is on a little run here, and I think he beats Dan Hooker. However, I don't think he wins his next fight, whoever he fights. Now let's move into the main event. In the intro, you heard me say that this was a disgrace of a fight. Obviously, a pretty bold claim there, but I don't think this was the right fight to make. Diego Lopez. Nothing wrong with Diego Lopez. I just don't think he was the most deserving guy. I think Lerone Murphy or Movsar Evloev should have been in the spot. But if you're looking from the UFC's point of view, obviously Volkanovski coming to the end of his career. Some even say that this is his retirement fight. I don't think that Volk will retire after this fight. But yeah, second fight on the Paramount deal, back-to-back weeks. You probably want a guy challenging that is entertaining, and Diego Lopez is exactly that. And now that the fight is here, let's talk about it. We just saw this first fight, and it was a great fight. I just watched the whole fight back last night, and yeah, both of these guys wobbled each other a little bit. And yeah, Diego Lopez dropped Volk. Volk wobbled him a couple times. Volk fought a great fight, especially in the beginning rounds of that. I think if Diego Lopez can start this fight off a little bit hotter and take a little bit more risks, I genuinely do think he has a shot to win this fight. And yeah, I think this is going to go very similar to the first fight. However, I think it's going to be a different outcome. I think Diego Lopez is going to knock out Alexander Volkanovski, and I don't think that's a very popular opinion either. So I think Diego Lopez is just too powerful for Volk. I think Volk is to the end of his career where we've already seen him get knocked out by powerful guys, and I think Diego Lopez is a very powerful guy. So if Lopez can find that shot, I think he gets it done, and I'm going to back that with my parlay at the end of this video. But yeah, I think I'm going to take Diego Lopez in this matchup against Volk. So let's look at the odds. They got Volk at minus 160, Lopez at plus 125, BSD minus 340, so pretty heavy favorite there. This fight, 50-50, Mauricio Rufy, Rafael Fiziev. Yeah, I could see that one going either way, like I was just talking about in my breakdown. And then Tuivasa-Blobsta, plus 240. You know, I was joking around earlier about Tuivasa winning that fight, but I wouldn't count him out. I will say that I do think he has a chance to win this fight. He's had some very quality losses, like I was talking about. Obviously, I was joking a little bit, but he really has been in there with some great competition, and Teixeira hasn't been in there with anyone. So, yeah, kind of fencing this fight a little bit, but definitely leaning Teixeira. Maybe by knockout, but probably decision. But, yeah, that's besides the point. I'd honestly, plus 240 for Tuivasa-Blobsta, not the worst bet that you can make if you're doing a crazy parlay. And then Saud killed minus 1,000. And, yeah, I mean, we got Brundage, we got Tafa, Oban Elliott. Horrible prelims. I don't even know if I'm going to tune into that, to be honest. But we'll go into the last segment of this video, something new that I'm starting, and that is the FightTalk-MMA Trifecta. I will do this for every single pay-per-view. This is 3 legs. I should not say leg 1 for every single one. I'll probably edit that out. But leg 1, we got Diego Lopez, plus 125. And leg 2 is going to be BSD at minus 340 and Talish and Teixeira at minus 330. So I'm going to calculate on my app what the odds of this come out to be for this trifecta, and hopefully we'll hit. I'm thinking about doing a running total of the units that were up. So if we want to cash this out together, we can do that. But yeah, we'll go Diego Lopez, Talish and Teixeira, and Benoit St. Denis is going to come out to plus 280. So pretty safe bet. But yeah, if you wanna bet on that Rafael Fiziev, Mauricio Rufy, probably lean Rufy, I think. That's probably the best value. He's minus 125. That one's a tough one to predict. That's why I left it out of it. But that's going to be it. Those are my predictions and betting breakdown for UFC 325. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll catch you in the next one.